Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve their goals while others don't? What if I told you that the secret lies in tiny, consistent habits? Welcome to Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that has transformed lives by teaching how small changes create big results. In this video, we'll explore actionable strategies to build good habits, break bad ones, and ultimately transform your life. Using insights from the book, real life examples, and success stories will guide you step by step to create habits that stick. Imagine this. If you improve by just 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better in a year. That's the power of atomic habits. Let's dive into the key lessons and make this transformation yours. We begin with the core concept, the compound effect of small habits. Let's begin with the foundation of atomic habits. Small habits compound over time, creating massive results. Habits are like interest in a saving account. Each action builds on the last. James Clear describes the British cycling team. For years, they were mediocre, winning no major races. But when they embraced the concept of marginal gains, improving by just 1% in areas like bike design, athlete nutrition, and even hand hygiene, they became unstoppable. Within 5 years, they won 5 Tour de France titles and multiple Olympic golds. It is so clear that success doesn't come from massive leaps, but from consistent tiny leaps that add up over time. Let's dive into the follows of behavior change. Law number 1, make it obvious. The first step in building good habits is to make them obvious. Our habits are triggered by cues in our environment, things we see, hear, or feel. If these cues aren't clear, it's hard to start or sustain a habit. By changing how we interact with your environment, you can make your desired habits more visible and atomic. James Clear explains that habits operate in a loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Let's first look at cue. Cue is the trigger that starts the habit. Craving is the desire to act based on the cue. Response is the action or habit itself, and the reward is the satisfaction that comes out of the habit. Without a clear cue, the loop doesn't begin. This is why creating obvious cues for your habit is so critical. With that said, let's look at the strategies to make the habit obvious. Number 1, habit stacking. Habit stacking pairs a new habit with an existing one, using the existing habit as a cue. If you already brew coffee every morning, you can stack a new habit onto it. After I pour my coffee, I'll meditate for 1 minute. A person who struggles to remember to take vitamins could stack it into brushing their teeth. After I brush my teeth, I'll take my vitamins. Strategy number 2, environment design. Your environment can encourage you or discourage your habits. To make a habit obvious, adjust your surroundings. James Clear kept his guitar in the middle of his living room, so he would be reminded to practice daily. You want to eat healthy? Keep fresh fruits and vegetables at eye level in the fridge or in the corner. Want to exercise more? Lay out your workout clothes or set up your equipment the night before. Strategy number 3. Be specific with your intentions. People often fail to act because their intentions are vague. Specificity increases the likelihood of success. Instead of saying, I'll exercise more, say, I'll go for a 20-minute run at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. If you want to journal daily, decide at 8 p.m. after I finish my dinner, I'll write in my book for 5 minutes. We shall close the law with these examples from which you can consider on how to make the behavior obvious and the mistakes that you need to avoid. Number 1, if your goal is of health, keep a water bottle on your desk to drink more water. Replace unhealthy snacks with fruits to reduce junk foods. If your goal is of learning, leave a book on your pillow as a reminder to read before you go to bed. Use sticky notes with the reminders on your computer to encourage studying or writing. If your goal is to work, organize your workspace to prioritize tasks. For example, place to-do lists in the center of your desk. Then let's look at the mistakes to avoid. Overloading with cues. Too many reminders can dilute their effectiveness. Focus on one clear, strong cue. Number 2, ignoring environment. Even with the best intentions, a poorly designed environment, like keeping junk foods in visible spaces, can sabotage your progress. With that said, we are diving into law 2, which is make it obvious. Remember, law 1 was make it obvious, and law 2 is make it attractive. The second law focuses on making habits more appealing. Humans are naturally drawn to activities that provide instant gratification. By associating positive emotions or rewards with your habits, you're more likely to stick with them. Let's look at the strategies on how to make the habit attractive. Number 1, temptation bundling. Combine something you enjoy with a habit you want to build. Allow yourself to watch Netflix while exercising. Pair studying with your favorite music. Reward yourself with a small treat after completing a difficult task. Number 2, leverage your social influence. We tend to adopt the habits of those around us. By surrounding yourself with people who embody your desired habits, you naturally become more motivated. James Clear gives us an example of a man who wanted to quit smoking, joined a community of non-smokers. Their behavior reinforced his commitment. If you want to get motivated with exercising, join a running club. Work in a co-working space with productive individuals if your goal is to improve your work productivity. Strategy number 3, focus on the benefits. Reframe the benefit in a positive light to increase its appeal. Instead of saying, I have to exercise, say, I get to exercise to feel stronger and healthier. Think about how eating vegetables fuels your body instead of focusing on avoiding unhealthy foods. Let's look at the examples that you can use to make the habit attractive. If the goal is for fitness, listen to your favorite playlist during your workouts. Use apps that encourage you and are animated. If your goal is of saving money, turn saving into a challenge by competing with friends on who can save the most in a month. If your goal is learning, use entertainment platforms like YouTube to learn skills in a fun way. Let's look at the more common mistakes we need to avoid in making the habit attractive. Focusing on short term gratification. Ensure your reward doesn't retail your goals. For example, overeating junk food as a reward for a workout. Uh, Mistake number 2, overlooking social influence. Negative peer pressure can work against you. Avoid environments that reinforce bad habits. With that said, we shall dive into law 3, which is make it easy. In other words, make the habit easy. The third law emphasizes reducing friction and lowering barriers to starting habits. The easier a habit is, the more likely you are to do it. Let's look at the strategies to make it easy. Number 1, reduce friction. Minimize the steps required to perform a habit. James Clear gives us an example that if you want to read more, place books in every room. If you want to eat healthy, prep your meals in advance to avoid unhealthy eating. The 2-minute rule is the second strategy to make the habit easy. Scale habits down to just 2 minutes to reduce resistance. For example, if you want to build a workout habit, start with putting on your gym shoes. If you want to journal daily, commit to writing 1 sentence. Number 3 is automation. Use technology to streamline your habits. For example, automate your savings by setting up a direct deposit to your savings account. Use reminders to nudge you towards your goals. Let's look at the examples that you may use in making the habit easy. Number 1, if your goal is fitness, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Number 2, if your goal is to eat healthy, pre-cut fruits and vegetables to make healthy snacks readily available. If your goal is learning, download audiobooks or podcasts for easy access during commutes. Let's go to law 4. Make it satisfying. The final law involves reinforcing habits with immediate rewards. When a habit feels good, you're more likely to repeat it. What strategies can we use to make the habit satisfying? Strategy number 1, use habit tracking. Seeing progress visually can motivate you to maintain consistency. James Clear used the calendar to track his writing habit, aiming to not break the chain. Celebrate small wins. Recognize and reward incremental achievements. Celebrate every gym session with a smoothie. Treat yourself to a favorite activity after completing a challenging task. Let's look at what examples you may use to make the habit satisfying. If the goal is fitness, take progress photos to see your improvement. If your goal is productivity, use a timer and reward yourself with breaks. If your goal is saving, celebrate a milestone like saving your first $1,000 by treating yourself to a small gift. With that said about the 4 laws of behavior growth, we shall go to the advanced concepts of atomic habits. Number one, identity-based habits. Instead of focusing on outcomes, focus on identity. For example, don't just aim to run a marathon, identify as a runner. When your habits align with your self image, they become effortless. Secondly, plateau of latent potential. James Clear describes how progress often feels invisible at first, like hitting an ice cube. Nothing happens until it reaches 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But all the effort before that point is what creates the breakthrough. Number three, the Goldilocks rule. We stay motivated when tasks are just outside our comfort zone. Not too easy, not too hard. Athletes, for instance, push themselves slightly harder each session, staying in the sweet spot of growth. Let's have a recap of the book. To transform your habits, make them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Focus on identity, embrace small steps, and trust the process. Remember, big changes come from tiny, consistent actions. What's the motivation for the book? Like planting seeds, habits take time to grow, but the harvest is worth it. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your life change. And what's the call to action? What habits will you start building today? Let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who could use a fresh start. Thank you for watching. In case you need the book, the link is in the comment section. Thank you.